Hello and welcome to episode 104 of the HamCorp Training Manual. In this episode, we set up the Kevlar line and construct a factory to house it. We also put together a plan for the next few episodes, and we make a portal to the toxic Everglades in an attempt to source more lanthanum. Today's the big day, the big Kevlar day. Now I do want to convey to you what an insane chemical process this is. So I really want to show you the flowchart. I did make a whole flowchart, by the way. I really want to show you the flowchart and explain it, but that's gonna take a while. But I also really want to do it, so I'm just gonna do it really fast, like really fast. Here it is. This is large. This is very large. So I have gone through every single step. The starting point is somewhat arbitrary. It's just the stuff that I have. So if you don't have some of these things and you decide to use this flowchart for whatever reason, you may find that you need more processing or less processing, depending on what you have. But anyway, I've scaled all the numbers here to get one Kevlar plate. So there are two main branches. There's the woven Kevlar, and there's the polyurethane resin. Let's start with the woven Kevlar. You ready? It's made from Kevlar fiber, which is made from liquid crystal Kevlar, from calcium chloride dust, paraphenylene diamine dust, terephthalate chloride dust, and N-methyl-2-pyrrolidone. The paraphenylene diamine dust you get from palladium, nitrogen dioxide, hydrogen, and 4-nitroaniline. The nitrogen dioxide comes from oxygen and nitric oxide, and the nitric oxide comes from oxygen and ammonia. The 4-nitroaniline comes from aniline, acetic anhydride, and nitration mixture. Aniline comes from nitrobenzene, hydrogen, and blue metal catalyst. The acetic anhydride comes from carbon monoxide, methyl acetate, and blue metal catalyst. The nitration mixture comes from nitric acid and sulfuric acid. Methyl acetate comes from methanol and acetic acid. Next, the terephthalate chloride dust. This comes from thionyl chloride, CO2 gas, and dimethyl terephthalate. The thionyl chloride comes from sulfur dichloride and sulfur trioxide, and you also get some sulfur dioxide, which you can put in a loop to make sulfur trioxide along with oxygen. Sulfur dichloride comes from sulfur dust and chlorine. Dimethyl terephthalate comes from terephthalic acid, methanol, and sulfuric acid. Terephthalic acid comes from cobalt-2 naphthenate dust, oxygen, and 1,4-dimethylbenzene. Cobalt-2 naphthenate dust comes from cobalt-2 hydroxide dust and ethylenic acid from oil processing. Cobalt-2 hydroxide comes from cobalt-2 nitrate and sodium hydroxide, and cobalt-2 nitrate comes from cobalt and nitric acid. The N-methyl-2-pyrrolidone comes from gamma-butyrolactone and methylamine. The methylamine comes from alumina, silicon dioxide, methanol, and ammonia. The gamma-butyrolactone comes from 1,4-butanediol and copper dust. You also get some hydrogen back, which goes in a loop, along with the 2-butane-1,4-diol dust and raney nickel dust. Raney nickel comes from nickel aluminite ingots and sodium hydroxide and water, and the nickel aluminite comes from nickel and aluminum. The 2-butane-1,4-diol dust comes from cupric oxide dust, bismuth oxide dust, silicon dioxide dust, acetylene, and formaldehyde. Cupric oxide comes from copper and oxygen. Bismuth oxide comes from bismuth and oxygen. Formaldehyde comes from oxygen, methanol, and formaldehyde catalyst. And acetylene comes from calcium carbide and water. Calcium carbide comes from quicklime carbon. Oh, that's the first branch. That's just for the woven Kevlar. And now, the polyurethane resin. This comes from polyurethane catalyst A dust, pentaerythritol dust, 4,4-diphenylmethane diisocyanate dust, ethylene glycol, and silicon oil. Polyurethane catalyst A dust comes from tin dust, butanol, iron trichloride, and propionic acid. Butanol comes from palladium dust, butyraldehyde, and hydrogen. Butyraldehyde comes from carbon monoxide, hydrogen, propene, and organorhodium catalyst dust, and you also get isobutyraldehyde, which is useless, so we just electrolyze it. The organorhodium catalyst dust comes from carbon monoxide, rhodium chloride dust, triphenylphosphine dust, and sodium borohydride dust. Rhodium chloride comes from chlorine and rhodium. Triphenylphosphine comes from sodium, phosphorus trichloride, and chlorobenzene, and phosphorus trichloride comes from phosphorus and chlorine. The sodium borohydride dust is made alongside sodium methoxide dust, which is useless, so we mix it with water in an LCR to get sodium hydroxide and methanol. But these dusts are made from sodium hydride dust and trimethyl borate. Sodium hydride is made from sodium hydrogen, and trimethyl borate is made from methanol, boric acid, and sulfuric acid. Pentaerythritol dust is made from formaldehyde, sodium hydroxide, and acetaldehyde. Formaldehyde is made from oxygen, methanol, and formaldehyde catalyst, and acetaldehyde is made from oxygen and ethylene. The 4,4-diphenylmethane diisocyanate dust is made from diphenylmethane diisocyanate mixture, which is made from phosgene, which we saw recently, and diaminodiphenylmethane mixture. Diaminodiphenylmethane mixture is made from formaldehyde, hydrochloric acid, and aniline. Formaldehyde is made from oxygen, methanol, and formaldehyde catalyst, and aniline is made from nitrobenzene, hydrogen, and blue metal catalyst. Ethylene glycol is made from ethylene oxide and water, and ethylene oxide is made from silver, alumina, ethylene, and oxygen. Silicon oil is made from ethylene oxide and water as well, but you also add dimethyl dichlorosilane. Like I said before, ethylene oxide comes from silver, alumina, ethylene, and oxygen, and finally the dimethyl dichlorosilane comes from chloromethane and raw silicon dust, and chloromethane comes from methanol and hydrochloric acid. In total, the net effect of implementing this whole processing chain is I will lose 0.006 cobalt dust, 21.9 nitric acid, 0.03 quicklime dust, 0.08 sodium hydroxide dust, 0.02 copper dust, 2,725.2 oxygen, 0.006 bismuth dust, 5,004 water, 2024.6 methanol, 0.008 nickel, 0.02 aluminium dust, 0.9 acetic acid, 7.1 naphthenic acid, 0.03 silicon dioxide dust, 0.006 phosphorus dust, 71.4 chlorine, 0.063 sodium dust, 6.3 boric acid, 59.59 sulfuric acid, 16.9 ammonia, 353.8 nitrobenzene, 4,955 carbon monoxide, 0.02 sulfur dust, 6.414 dimethylbenzene, 0.002 rhodium dust, 18.9 chlorobenzene, 4.2 alumina dust, 0.23 palladium dust, 7.7 CO2 gas, 4,000 propene, 910 hydrochloric acid, 0.016 calcium chloride dust, 5,295 ethylene, 1,000 distilled water, 344.8 phosgene, 4.2 silver dust, 0.8 raw silicon dust, 1 tin dust, and 100 iron 3 chloride, and in return, I will receive 0.06 sodium nitrate dust, 0.06 sodium aluminate dust, 0.08 hydrated lime dust, 59.59 diluted sulfuric acid, 60.28 diluted hydrochloric acid, 0.088 salt, 0.0063 boron, 23.14 sulfur dioxide, 1,881 hydrogen, 7.9 carbon dust, and 1 Kevlar plate. Now for the Kevlar line, I need a new building because this is going to be super long, obviously. Though actually it may not be as long as it seems because a lot of the machines can be shared. Like there are a few times in the crafting chain where I need to make formaldehyde, and I've listed them all separately, but realistically I only need one source of formaldehyde. Regardless, it is going to be very large. I'm kind of wondering where to put it, and I'm inclined to put it somewhere here, near the bees, just so I can establish dominance over all of you bee lovers. That said, I don't know how big it's going to be, because this is like such a massive scale, I truly have no idea how big it's going to be. So I think I'll start building the machines. Like I'll just lawn base the machines, and then maybe I'll do a building stream. And when this episode comes out, you have probably already seen that stream. I don't know what this building is going to look like yet, but I guess you do. So for now, let me just do a little lawn-based setup, and also, bring my glass roof over so that everything doesn't explode the first chance it gets. I'll also make some mob repellitors to get rid of these bozos, some wireless access points. Okay, so I have a bit of work to do, but I'm going to flatten this out a little bit. Just make a lawn-based floor, and I will be back. Here is the full Kevlar line before adding the building. I'll add the building soon. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like, it's just a lot of chem reactors, but besides that, it's mostly linear. There's a few loops, but I've decided to ignore them and just kind of handle them by putting them in a small mini network of super tanks. It's really not that bad. It's a little expensive in that you need to make quite a few mega chemical reactors. I guess they could be normal chemical reactors too. I guess a lot of these could be either one. But I decided to only make mega chemical reactors for the UV recipes. And everything else is running at LUV. I'd say it's a step up from the monazite line. So if you've done the monazite line, then this is like it's just kind of the same thing. It's just a sequence of things just going in a line. And I did have fun doing this, but it's not the best line in the world. It's not that interesting. It's, yeah, like I said, it's just item 1 goes into a machine and you get item 2. Item 2 goes into a machine and you get item 3. And then it's just kind of a line of that until you get to Kevlar, which is fine. That is like kind of most processing lines in the game, but it could be more interesting with loops or with unique machines that do unique things. But for now, I am very happy with this, and I'm proud of myself for actually making it look like pretty neat, actually. The next time we speak, it will be after the building stream, which for you was already in the past. That was a very productive building stream. We have a pretty nice building here. It was kind of challenging to get this Kevlar text to look nice, particularly the K and the R. But I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and we also did this cool new thing that I thought of. That was to add these little slabs, and it kind of has this, like, from a distance it almost looks like a bit of a glitch effect, which is pretty cool. I might use that again in the future. Basically, I struggled with making the R look nice, so I just made this go around and that kind of fixed it. And I was encouraged to do pixel art. This is my first ever pixel art, and it is a Kevlar plate, and I think it looks pretty accurate. Here's what it looks like normally as an item, and then there's the pixel art. That's pretty good, right? And it only uses one block, just 4 different variants of the same block, and it's very cheap, just sandstone and Zetone tiles. Besides that, we have some incredible posters by Kerpaki, yet again. We also added some life to the local ecosystem. There's more life now than there was before, so that's a good thing. This is a good thing. I will not be taking questions. And as for the inside, we have a little ladder that leads up to a catwalk, and the catwalk just kind of overlooks everything. I may clean up the lights on the inside because they kind of look a little bad, but it's on the inside, so who cares? And over here, we have some targets for target practice, and they're all wearing Kevlar armor, at least that's the lore. Yeah, and while that was happening, I now have a full frame drawer full of Kevlar plates. I have also already upgraded all of my PCB recipes to use Kevlar, and honestly this thing is very, very slow. I might make a second one. Not having overclocks makes this horrendously slow. But now I'm kind of wondering what to do. So I'm dealing with a pretty major issue that I don't have phosphorus. Like, I'm just constantly out of phosphoric acid and phosphorus because it's all being used in my Naquadria processing. And I do need phosphorus for other things, so I'm kind of wondering what to do about that. I might use a void miner, but I'm not sure. And another thing I was interested in is xenon, to make these blasts quite a bit faster. Now, originally my plan for xenon was to do the B, but I think I will not be doing that. Big surprise there. But the reason is there's this planetary gas siphon I can use, and you can get xenon from Neptune. So it's a bit interesting how this works. So first of all, I need to have a space station orbiting the planet, so I need to make that first. and those come in different tiers. And then based on the tier of the space station and the depth of the fluid, which for xenon is 4, and the space station tier would be 6, that ends up being 2 amps of ZPM. Now I don't know what the rate is, I don't know how fast it's going to be. It says amount 350, is that per tick? I have no idea. But I think I could swing 2 amps of ZPM at this point, no problem. So I think that will be my solution for xenon, and that could be fun to set up as well. And as for the rest of UV, there is a little more I can do. I can make the nanoforge, I can do whatever this is. Another thing that I forgot about was that I can do the toxic Everglades. And I think I need to do this because I need to get lanthanum, and I believe this is a good place to get lanthanum. I am struggling with lanthanum. I'm out of lanthanum. It's because I use it for circuit fabrication. So yeah, I think let's make the containment frame and alkylus disk. This should be pretty cheap at this point for me. I also noticed that this quest is now visible. I don't know what this is. I do not know what this is. I don't think this was visible before. If you can't tell, I don't know what to do at this point. I'm kind of undecided between progressing more, maybe making the space elevator even, making tier 7 rocket is another option. There's still quite a lot I can do now in UV, so I need to think it over a little bit. Okay, I've thought it over a little bit more. I'm going to make the final green rocket fuel, the best rocket fuel in the game. I'm going to make the tier 7 rocket. Then I will set up xenon on Neptune, and then I will do the space elevator, and then I will do ore processing, and as part of that, I'll do this nanite stuff. Okay, I'm mostly saying that as a reminder to myself because I'm totally gonna forget. But cool, so let's get started. Fusion Control Computer Mark III. This is going to be expensive, but that's not surprising to anyone. It also needs Mark II fusion machine casings. These need fusion machine casings, molten aquata alloy, and americium plates. So the cost is going to add up. You know, I'm kind of wondering if I should just go straight to the compact fusion Mark III. That is going to be significantly more expensive because it also needs advanced compact fusion coils. Yeah, that's intimidating. I think I'll put that off a little bit. So I'm just going to make the baby donut. Besides the controller and the Mark II casings, there is nothing new. I will make the auto-taping maintenance hatch though, from now on. I think I'm going to slowly start replacing my maintenance hatches with the auto-taping maintenance hatches. Alright, back to crafting. Also, dude, I need to make a mega alloy blast melter. This thing is so painfully slow at this point. It's the worst. Also, I didn't mention it before in my to-do list, but I'm just going to work on this right now. I am first going to go to the toxic Everglades, get this done. Then I'll do the fusion control computer, and then we'll continue with my plan. Also, I'm going to do this quest right now. I don't know what this is. While this is crafting, I have time. Like, what is this quest? That's it? Like, what? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Alright, I have my containment frame and alkylus disk. And I don't know if this is a dangerous process to ignite this portal or not. So I am going to do a backup. Okay, seems perfectly safe. Alright, let's go. Ugh. Gross. Ah, yes. The stabaloy construct. Damn, brother. I should put him in an EEC to get infinite freeze stabaloy. You can do this pretty early in the game, actually. If you use a witchery potion to change the biome to toxic Everglades. Eventually, a stabaloy construct will spawn, and you can capture it and put it in an EEC. And that is a very nice way to get infinite uranium and titanium as early as, like, EV. Something I wish I knew when I was in EV. I think the lore behind this place is that this is the far future. And I think that's pretty accurate. Now, I also believe that ores don't spawn in here in the same way as the overworld. Like, it's not in ore veins, as usual. I can still try scanning with my prospector scanner. Yeah, see, there are no ore veins on the map. But it still says that there's all of these ores nearby. So I guess I just need to set up miners here and somehow try to remember. You know what? Actually, this is probably a better place to set up a void miner rather than a conventional miner, because then I don't need to keep track of where I've already mined. But cool, this sort of solves my lanthanum issue. Okay, now that that's done, I am going to get back to working on the Mark III fusion. Thank you for watching this episode of the HamCorp Training Manual. In the next episode, we will craft the Mark III fusion reactor, as well as the Mega Alloy Blast Smelter and the 2 UU Matter multiplugs. After that, we begin work on green rocket fuel. See you next time.